Well, hey guys, I'm back. Can you read this? And now can you read this? Which one could you read better? This or this? It's a test. I'm just wondering. Okay, so we're here with TacPack, thanks to Kevin. Kevin is the one that supplies us with this TacPack. You know what? I'm just gonna get right into this thing. Right into the TacPack. So, a little viewer warning that I like to do when we're opening TacPack for September 2023, by the way. The stuff in this box is most likely, the stuff in this box always has to do with this is a firearms-centric subscription. So, if you are in a place where the pew-pews and the lifestyle of the shooty-shoot is not allowed, or that is just not your thing, please, this might not be the video for you, and that's okay. That's fine, we understand. Go ahead, click off, find another video that might entertain you for the next little bit, because this one probably is not for you. Just fair warning up front. This box really centers around the crowd that likes to do their own AR builds in the short and squat pew-pew world. Really focuses around Glock-type accessories. But let's give everybody a fair warning, because there are a bunch of people who watch these videos and they say, oh, I didn't like it. It was all gun stuff. And yeah, it is. For the most part, it is. So, that being said, we have the TacPack Plus. This is the kind of higher level, the premium level box. It has usually one or two other things that are higher value, a little bit fancy in it. Folding AR stock adapter. We have talked about these things a lot in the shop. We will talk about them. We'll talk about it as we actually, them and it as we get it out. What do we have here? We have a little foregrip guy. We have my medic, a burn kit. How incredibly useful a day ago when somebody grabs an all-metal hot pot that they use to heat stuff up in the oven. Guys have no idea what's going on. What do we have? Oh, all right. So when stuff like this, I'll explain when stuff. What is this? This looks like, the packaging looks like a fine bottle of scotch, of whiskey. That's what usually comes in a tube like this, but I'm sure that's not what's in here. Unfortunately, not. Ooh, we got a turtle. And you know what? I gotta be honest. RAF was always my favorite growing up, playing with turtles. So, you notice I still don't have the. I did one with this board before. I have mine. Where is it? I moved it. I usually build models and stuff on this one, and I do my. I don't know. Anyway. It'll be back. It's not gone. It'll be back. So, in the TacPack Plus, it's here. The sizzling, and that they really mean sizzling. The sizzling September TacPack, a game-changing amount of USA-made AR gear is inside. So dig in and enjoy. You know what else you might enjoy? Might enjoy the new channel I'm working on, DocP's Tactics Hawk. Since I'm doing it. Where I get really in-depth with military stuff, where I'm switching the military stuff kind of off this channel. Not military items that we might unbox, but where I go into really in-depth talking about military-related stuff. Give it a try. There's a link in the video description if you want to check it out. So, let's see what we've got. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because this is October, hence I always do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 things in the box. What is the plus item? The plus item is the folding stock adapter. So we'll talk about that later. You're going to find a lot of repeat items in TacPack, and here's why. Because it caters to the group that likes to build their own AR platforms, and so you constantly, if you build multiple platforms, you would need the same parts over and over. This box, more than any other, I find repeats items. Now, I'm not justifying that. I'm just giving you a reason why. I understand why subscribers to this box would be frustrated getting the same kinds of stuff over and over and over. But for those who might not understand it, I'm giving an explanation as to why. I'm not saying it's okay in a subscription box, But in this one, I get it. I would be frustrated too, though. But Kevin, this is Kevin's box. But Kevin likes to build, so I don't know. First, we have the Nomad Defense M-Lock Micro AFG and rail cover combo, USA made. That's got to be this. And I'm going to have to cut into this so we can take a look at it. So, let's see. So, we've got our M-Lock hardware. Let me give you the wrench. That's nice. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they make you go find something. So here, this is just a little foregrip. That's all this is. A little polymer piece. And you can use this in either direction, mounted however you want it. I mean, you can do what you please with this guy. But rather than have a full foregrip, you can have this to kind of use as you want to help you stabilize the fore end. And then this, when they talk about a rail cover, well, you know, with M-Lock, sometimes you have on your whole handguard, you have the M-Lock attachments. So it looks, I'll probably put a picture in so you can see one. You have just the spaces for it. Sometimes you have an extra M-Lock rail that you have to attach, which is really stupid because that's, you know, you shouldn't have to. Although sometimes, you know, just there's different attaching platforms, so you might have a rail. But what this guy does is this lets you put this, sorry, I can't hold it, so that you have a solid feeling platform area, right? So they say the whole idea of this is to provide maximum grip with minimum bulk, which it kind of does. You see, you've got your texture there. So, you know, normally when I think of a rail cover, I'm thinking of something bulkier that fits over like Picatinny type rail. I guess this would also be considered a rail cover, but with M-Lock, I don't consider rail covers with M-Lock. It just doesn't enter into my mind because of how M-Lock works. So here's item number one. Right off the bat, we are AR-15ing. Okay. Number two, the Amend 2 mag. So, unfortunately, Kevin lives in a place where I feel they have very unconstitutional laws regarding firearms. So this is a standard capacity AR-15 mag, not a high capacity magazine. This is what they were designed to do, 30 rounds. He can't have a 30-round magazine, so what I usually like to do is I will swap this out with one from the shop for him in the capacity that he can legally own in his state, which is not too far from his. I probably have said it before, but, you know, just because I can't remember if I've directly said it or not, I'm not going to say it now. So, it's, you know, you've seen one polymer magazine, you've seen them all, honestly. Anti-tilt. Feels anti-tilt for the follower. Pretty smooth action on the spring there. You know what, though? If you were to try to disassemble this, the one thing I don't like is the 2. How complicated is that? Oh, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Most of the time, there's just like a smaller kind of button. Some of them you can even push with your finger if you need to disassemble this magazine, but it can get a nice grip on it. But again, like I said, you know, people might disagree with me. Polymer mags are all, you have the P mag, the hex mag. I'm trying to think of other ones right now, but I mean, they're all pretty much like one is the same. They're all the same. They are what they are. A little lighter than steel or aluminum stamp magazines, but there they are, and a little less noisy too. So this is a 30-round standard capacity. I hate when people who have no idea about firearms decide to call this a high capacity because it sounds scary. I'll tell you what, this is standard capacity, and anything below this is a low capacity magazine. How about that? So that's number 2. And this is the kind of thing that TacPack, when I say it repeats, like we've gotten since I started unboxing TacPack. This has got to be the 4th, 5th, or 6th low profile foregrip, right? I can't count how many magazines we've gotten. Now, some people don't mind because you would go out and, you know, everybody needs more than one magazine, right? So This is a kind of repeat thing that I don't think people mind too much. I'm not exactly sure how you'd all feel getting this over and over, but having a healthy supply of magazines is not necessarily a bad thing. I like to throw this in. You know, everybody watches movies and stuff, and you know, you take your magazine, and this is a military related thing, sorry, but you pop a magazine out, you know, when you're downrange, and just in the movies they just drop it on the ground and move on. And people seem shocked when I say, listen, it's an expendable item, which means you don't have to, like, if it doesn't come back every time, that's fine. But in Iraq and Afghanistan, you know, we have those metal magazines, and every piece of metal you leave on the ground is IED fodder for bad guys. So it got to a point where you signed for your 7 magazines, sometimes more, but you know, and they did expect you to police them up as best you could. So you had a dump pouch, or you had your cargo pockets on your uniform, and yeah, in, you know, downrange, you were expected to, you know, when you switch up magazines, to grab your old one. And now I can't speak to how that was in any other conflict, obviously, and there were varying degrees to how that was enforced. But again, any piece of metal you left lying on the ground was potential shrapnel in a bomb, or it was a booby trap device too. Because if you're on patrol somewhere and you see a magazine lying on the ground, somebody might go pick it up, and that could have a pressure switch. Anyway, I'm just saying it's really interesting where you're not expected to just switch your magazine and leave it lying on the ground and walk away. In Iraq and Afghanistan, you're expected to monitor that, and you actually do sign a hand receipt for the number of magazines that you are issued out. Anyway, maybe that's not how it is in every single situation, but when we went downrange, that's, yeah. Okay, sorry. Next we've got the My Medic Burn Pack. Should I put the little, we got a medical item. Should I put the warning in? Stations, all stations, we have medical items in the box. I repeat, medical items.
Better get the old man down here.
The president's in his limousine. They're diverting to Andrews. The vice president is out of position, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs is on his way.
Priority traffic. We are now at DEFCON 3. Incoming medical rant. I know, you guys liked it once. There's a repeat. How much do you like seeing it again? I worked hard on that. So, let's see what we got in the burn pack. Now, this is resealable, so I can reseal the pouch. Obviously, I won't be opening anything sterile. Burns are, I know I've said some of this before, burns are nasty because, number one, they're incredibly painful. Like a serious burn. Not a burn you get on the stove, but, or depending on how bad it is.
It's pretty painful.
Oh, it's pretty painful. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's painful. Burns can be incredibly painful, but even more so medically speaking, they can do incredible amounts of damage to the underlying tissue. And in the field, a burn is just a big thing because, you know, it destroys the damn it. In the field, the burn is a really big thing because, you know, your skin is your first line defense against any kind of infection. And a burn can destroy any of that. This is your suit of armor when facing the world. And burn patients are very susceptible to infection. And that's... Ooh, I tell my story sometimes of my very limited time at BAMC, Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. They have a very renowned burn center on one of the, I think, the 6th floor. And I am not exaggerating. When they had to treat some burn patients on the 6th floor, you could hear very muffled screaming and crying on lower floors. It's really painful to treat. So this, of course, is not treating like massive 3rd-degree burns, but what do we have? So there's a little tiny minor burn pack in here. So we've got burn dressing, 4x4 dressing to soothe and relieve the burn. What has in here? What have you? 90% purified water, propylene glycol, Glycerol emulsifier. So it's water in a gel substance, basically. You know, we used to teach in some basic first aid classes, there's a 3-step process to handling a burn out in the field. Number 1, remove the burning, whatever it happens to be. Get the person away from it. You cover the burn, you dress the burn, you cool the burn down. Stop the burning from whatever it happens to be. So that's what this does. This does two things. This is addressing for your burn, and this is really just a water that's thickened up so that it can remove some of that burning, cool down the temperature of whatever it is. So that's not bad to have. Instant cold pack does the same thing. You know, you have burn, and the skin is great at holding on to temperature, and anybody who's had a sunburn knows that. So this would be just something to cool down that burning temperature and stop the burning process. Just like a piece of meat you take out of the oven, you know, you take meat out and it's still cooking on the inside, your body's doing that. So things like this will help cool down the tissue and stop that burning process and draw heat out. And, you know, there you go. And then we've got a non-adherent pad. This is important. Non-adherent pad is a little bit different from regular old gauze. Gauze will stick to the, I don't want to get graphic about it, but, you know, once you got this nice, smooth, integumentary system breached, it tends to get sticky and gooey. And you have, for again, burns that are partial or full thickness that go past the first layer of skin, you've got to debride. You've got to, that's what the screaming is from. You've got to remove foreign objects and dead skin. And your dressings will stick and need to be removed, and non-adherent pads stick less. On a 3rd degree burn, you're still, I don't even want to talk about it, guys. I really don't. It's terrible. Gauze roll to help secure that, and then some Coflex to help put that all on. Okay. Sunburn is a 1st degree burn. You know, steam burn, very light, to be 1st degree burn. Momentarily touching something hot from, you know, hot pot handle, 1st degree burn, something like that. So that's what this would be. And we've got burn gel. Burn gel does not treat the burn. What it does is it helps feel better, and it cools down, removes that burning process from the skin. So it does something medicinally speaking, but it's not an actual medication itself. Antiseptic towelette and a super hand wipe. All right, I would not use this on a burn. I just wouldn't. Well, maybe, you know, sunburn maybe, I guess, because it feels whatever. Antiseptic towelette. This is another one where I'm like, what do you guys? So they say it's for a minor burn. What is this? 2 tablets. Tylenol. Okay, Tylenol, painkiller for a very minor burn. This one looks like it's leaking. This package is not. The integrity of the front of this package doesn't look great. Yeah, I don't know what you would use this for. So I'm not worried about the infection on a very minor burn because the skin's integrity is not typically broken. But okay, sure. Got some gloves to wear for you, the first aid responder, which would be very important, you know, I guess this should be with the other stuff. It's not as important in the minor burn, but whatever. And then super skin bandage. This would be important. You want to cover it up. And is this like a microfiber, micro condensed towel, which also could help because, again, anything you do to minimize the burning. So you put this in water, the nice cool water also feels good on the minor burn, but it helps remove that burning process. I don't know. This is, treating a very minor burn is very easy. I mean, it's usually simply just making the patient feel better. A very minor burn, like a sunburn, as long as it's not a blistering 2nd degree sunburn, we all get it and it goes away on its own. And sometimes you put some afterburn on it, you know, some aloe vera, and that's fine. Anytime a burn that's just reddens skin without blister. Once we get into blistering skin, then we have another problem. Anything beyond blistering burns, that's a medical crisis. That's a medical emergency. A burn that involves thicknesses of different layers of skin. And that's really the only thing you should do in that case is remove the person from the burning source and try to keep them from going into shock. So but that's a whole different course. I'm not doing that right now. These are good to have in your first aid kits. I'm not saying like there's nothing terrible in these supplies. I question a couple items here and there, but overall, not bad. So interesting that they throw it in with some of the other stuff. I understand that they have to fill out the box, and I'm not upset about having these. Anybody accidentally grab a hot barrel on the range because it hasn't properly cooled down yet? It happens. Great time to use something like this. So it does sort of fit. I get it. Okay. Next, TAC AR grip, USA made. New to market grip. So I won't say that you've seen one grip, you've seen them all, because ooh, this one's rubbery. Okay, see, everybody has a preference on their pistol grip. There are some states where a pistol grip itself is illegal. To install, not to own, but to have on, that's something else. I'm not even gonna get into it now. Well, I will get into it. I've said this before, so, at the shop, we do builds. The shop is here in Pennsylvania, where we have sane gun laws, for the most part. We do builds for people in neighboring states where they do not have sane gun laws, and where I feel the laws are unconstitutional to a point, but I'm not going to get into that. Where they are clearly written by people that have never seen anything, they wouldn't know the barrel from the stock anyway, and they're written by political crazy people to make things as scary as possible. And so I've said this before, so they have lists of tactical accessories. This is considered a tactical accessory. Some tactical accessories you can't put on the firearm at all. Sometimes you can't have a certain number, like there is, so in New Jersey, which is one of our neighbors, that unfortunately, you're limited to 3 tactical accessories. You can't have a flash hider in New Jersey, but you can have a compensator or a muzzle brake. And if that muzzle brake or compensator happens to have flash hiding properties built into it, oh well, that's just fine. It's not called a flash hider. A flash hider sounds scary. Anybody that shoots knows that it's a compensator or a muzzle brake that makes that rifle more accurate. So if you're somebody who's catering to, I don't know, an anti-Second Amendment political group, not going to name names, and you want to look like you're doing something, you'll write legislation that bans flash hiders because it sounds scary, even though you have no idea what the difference is. But sorry, I'm getting off on a rant here. Anyway, this grip is pretty nice. I think because I was saying, it's, sometimes you've seen one of these, you've seen them all, but there are differences in pistol grips. Some are adjustable, some are just straight plastic. You remember the old M16A2 style one that we're so used to with a little, what do you call that thing that separates your fingers over there? I don't even know why it's there. They've come a long way since that. This one's a little short. I don't know, might want one a little bit longer. But this one's comfortable with the plastic, with the rubber that goes around. And got a storage compartment in the handle like so many do. The hardware for attaching it's in there. I like it. Not as much as mine. The one I have on mine, I know I'm going to do a video on my whole rifle setup one day. I'm going to, but it's soft and rubberized and looks like a kind of like a 357, a Smith & Wesson 357 grip. It's very, very comfortable, very well molded. But this one's not bad. They don't put prices on these anymore, by the way. But I can get behind this side. This one feels good. This is one I might put on also, just because I like the rubbery grip feel. Next on the list, we have the Falco Tactical Mat. They send a lot of mats, too. A whole lot. Let's see, what's this one? Now, a working mat is not a bad... Nobody's complaining about having work mats, but like every other month, another work mat? I don't know. These ones, I guess, look cool, but... if you think it's cool, it's cool. If you need these instructions in front of you, you just haven't trained enough. I'm not saying that to insult anybody. You should be able, if you own this platform, and you're supposedly like, this is for your home defense, or this is, you know, you're making the case that you're responsible enough to use it. This kind of stuff should be second nature. You shouldn't need anything printed on there for assembly. This is basic cleaning and maintenance stuff. Just throwing that out there. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments if you don't think so, but you know, this is day one BRM basic training stuff. And then it has the lubrication amount. That's another thing we see. Somebody will come in and they'll be like, it's not cycling correctly, I don't know what's going on. And it's either completely dry, no lubrication, or they've got so much lube in it, the slightest bit of dirt and dust ends up making this mud puddle in there, and it can't function. And over lubrication, under lubrication are big problems. But that's nice that they give you an amount there. I don't know. I just, like, everybody and their mother makes this 3D breakdown. I kind of would rather see a scene of, like, the coyote running face first into a mountain and the roadrunner shaking its little ass at him. I don't know at this point. Just something different. Anything different. Like I said, these mats are great to work on and everything. They're nice and soft, and not just for working on guns, but if you have anything you don't want to just bang on a desk, they're nice. But again, how many mats? And they've given us some really good ones. They gave us the one that has the little magnetic tray on the end of it and stuff. I think that's great. This is, you know, it's just so overdone is what I'm saying. I don't know, that's my opinion. And you can disagree. And I respect your opinion to disagree. Because it is this and this that has given the American citizen his freedom to disagree. We got one thing left. The Sylvan Arms folding stock adapter. Now, this. So, interesting. This will work with like a collapsible stock. It'll work with a fixed stock. But here's the only issue. And some people are not aware of this, which is why I'm going to bring it up. So it will extend the overall length of your rifle a little bit. You need this adapter for your buffer assembly there. And it says do not fire while open. And here's why. Your firearm will not cycle if this is open. This is not made to be fired open. It's not made to make it a shorter firing rifle. It is made to make it so that you can store your rifle in a smaller place. Let's say that you have a get home or a bug out bag or something, or you have a small storage area in your car. It allows you to fold the stock of the rifle and store that in a smaller place. But you still then need to, this just closes. You still then need to put your rifle back into a firing position, and again, this goes in there to make your whole buffer assembly work. It doesn't fire from the folded position, is what I'm saying. It fires once from the folded position. Fires one time. And then it will not be able to fully cycle because of the extra length between the spring and the buffer and all that stuff. Some people really like these. Now, like I said, me and Darren and Max in the shop, we had a whole talk about them. We tried it out a little bit. There's not a lot of situations where I would find it that useful. So, if you will, just imagine that this is connected to a rifle, right? So this screws on. Look, I made use of it. This goes right here. This part goes right there. So this is connected to your receiver. And now your stock is folded alongside of it. We want to fire it, we fold the stock into position there, and now you have a regular stock connected. Okay, and it's ready to go. And where's our extender? And this guy is now in the position to extend that whole buffer assembly so that it can fully cycle throughout the entire thing. This would be considered a tactical accessory in some places. In some places, it's not. In logical, freedom-loving places, you just put it on your rifle. This being folded does not make your rifle an SBR, because think of the terminology. Short-barreled rifle has nothing to do with your barrel. Your barrel length is the same. Does not turn it into a pistol because it will not fire without your stock being fully connected. So it doesn't change the terminology, the nomenclature, or the designation, with any government agency of what your AR is. It just allows you to shorten the length to store it. That's all it does. It doesn't change the firing properties of it, except it turns it into a one-shot manual loading rifle if you try to fire it without having this fully closed. So, like I said, we did try it in the shop once. And then we were trying to put together scenarios when it would really be useful and when it wouldn't. And there were a few scenarios where we said, yeah, it could be useful. More often than not, we kind of got together and we, as some of the good old customers came in, we said, hey, what do you think of this? More often than not, we just sort of said, I'd rather just have a collapsible stock that's always ready to go. That doesn't involve installing anything else. That doesn't have the potential for any bearings or moving parts or hinges to go bad on me or anything like that. That doesn't require installation of separate stuff. Now, you watching this video may very well have a great reason to want to install this, and that's cool. I don't argue with it because I don't know your personal needs. I just personally, again, I don't have any reason to need to shorten my rifle that much to store it. I just don't. I have room in the car. I have room in the case to store it in there. And for traveling purposes, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't personally think that this itself is illegal anywhere. Again, because it doesn't change the fire rate. It doesn't change the designation by the ATF or anything of the rifle itself. But it certainly does give you some travel options. You know what I mean? So I'll let you guys tell me in the comments. Who's got experience using them? Do you prefer it? Is it more trouble than it's worth, or is it worth the time to let's assume you already have a built rifle, to have to break your notch and have to unscrew and disconnect everything, put this on, use the extender and all that stuff. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for you? Do you find use in it, or I don't know. So, curious. These things can be very expensive. They run in price from a few hundred to not that much. I mean, really, seriously. So, this one's all metal. There's no plastic, no polymer on this thing. Solid piece of aluminum. So, I'll let you guys make your decisions. That is how we have it in this box. So, we've got another magazine I got to swap out for him. We got a pistol grip that I could definitely see him using. This one's very comfortable. I like it. We've got this foregrip, which probably counts as a tactical accessory in some states. So, in some states, by the way. So, let's say what I was talking about right here. This counts. So, unless you have a hard welded or pinned device on the barrel, you couldn't even have a muzzle brake or a compensator or anything on that. Anything removable that can be removed at home without needing to take it to a shop or something counts as an accessory. So what we also do a lot of the time is we will pin and weld, say, a compensator to the end of a barrel for somebody that lives in one of these states, because then it doesn't count anymore. It's the dumbest logic. Does it change the function of how the rifle works? Absolutely not. It just makes it more inconvenient for the law-abiding citizen, because that's the only person that's paying attention to these rules and laws. Makes it more inconvenient for the law-abiding citizen if he chooses to change his legal, lawfully owned firearm to suit his needs. So this right here, 3 tactical accessories, according to some states, which is just dumb. But anyway, that's not TacPack's fault. It's the fault of the people that elect these ridiculous politicians who don't know what they're talking about. Sorry, I'm not trying to be political, guys. I am not. This is something I'm very passionate about. Gave up most of my adult life to defend the Constitution and freedom, and it sucks that people who have no idea what they're talking about to score political points can just right away, just scribble away freedoms. It sucks. Anyway, so we've got the medical stuff, we've got these, we've got the mat. What do you guys think of this TacPack? I understand we're going to say, hey, we've gotten this before. We've gotten just about besides this and the burn stuff. We've gotten pistol grips. We've gotten these little foregrips, these low-profile foregrips. We've gotten magazines. We've gotten mats. Almost everything in this is a repeat of one way or another. But maybe this is your first TacPack. If this is your 50th TacPack, you might not feel so good about it. But what do you guys think? What do you think of all the items in this box? Please discuss, especially this guy right here. Tell me what you think in the comments, and let's discuss. So if you guys enjoy these videos and you've learned anything that you might not have already known, think about subscribing, hitting the like button, and turning on notifications and all that stuff to help out the channel. I appreciate the time we spent together today, folks. Remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back again real soon.